surprise! Happy birthday!
I knew it.
But thank you, this is wonderful.
I can't believe you knew.
For a whole week, she wore this smile. You know the kind, right? The one that's all on the lips, but never quite makes it to the eyes. She told me she was planning a surprise party for me, something about celebrating a promotion at work. Don't worry about a thing, she said, and I didn't. I trusted her. For years, that's what I did, without a single question. I had no idea the surprise was actually for me, just not in the way she intended. The truth didn't storm in like a hurricane. It crept in quietly like a slow leak. It was in the little things, the tiny inconsistencies I'd always brushed aside. A crumpled receipt in the car from a store she never went to. A man's name that came up just a little too often in conversation. Late nights at the office that started becoming the norm with fewer and fewer details. By the time all the pieces clicked into place, the affair had been a silent resident in our marriage for 5 long years. 5 years living in the shadows of my own home. I didn't confront her. There was no shouting, no dramatic scenes, no breaking plates. Instead, I became a silent observer. I listened. I watched. I learned. I didn't want the watered-down, panicked version of the truth she'd give me if I cornered her. I needed the full picture. I had to understand how a person could juggle 2 entirely separate lives, 2 different realities, and seem so completely at ease. It was a master class in deception, and I was determined to understand the curriculum. The party was set for a Saturday night. Our home filled with friends, family, her coworkers. She'd told everyone it was to celebrate my promotion, a beautiful lie wrapped in a festive bow. I played my part perfectly. I smiled, I shook hands, I accepted congratulations. I was the picture of a grateful, successful husband. But inside there was this strange calm, a stillness that felt foreign but incredibly solid. I wasn't numb, I was anchored. Once everyone had a drink in hand and the chatter was buzzing, she stood up, tapping her wine glass for attention. The room hushed. She launched into a beautiful speech about love, about commitment, about how proud she was of the life we had built together. It was a stunning performance. People clapped, someone raised a glass for a toast. I just watched her, this actress on her stage, delivering lines she had practiced for years. Then it was my turn. I stood up slowly, letting the silence settle. I thanked everyone for coming, for their kind words. Then I said, it turns out I have a little surprise of my own. I took out my phone, connected it to the big screen TV in the living room, and hit play. There was no dramatic music, no fancy editing. Screen after screen of messages, photos, hotel booking confirmations. Timestamps that painted a very clear, undeniable picture stretching back 5 years. The vibrant party atmosphere just evaporated. The room fell apart into a thick, suffocating silence. She opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. Her friends, the ones who had been smiling at her moments before, suddenly found the floor incredibly interesting. And her lover, who was standing near the back, his face went ghost white when his own picture appeared on the screen next to her intimate messages. There was no chaos, no shouting match. Just the heavy, thudding sound of truth landing right where the lies had been so comfortable for so long. I turned the screen off. The party's over, I said, my voice steady. People couldn't get out fast enough. It was a quiet, awkward exodus. A few mumbled apologies, a few pats on my shoulder, but most just fled. She remained frozen in the middle of the room, staring at the floor, all her scripts and all her words finally gone. When she finally looked up at me, every ounce of her practiced confidence had vanished. Her first question was, "How long have you known?" The days that followed were clean, quiet. Lawyers handled the messy parts. Not because I was forced to, but because I needed a space that wasn't haunted by memories, a space that didn't hold the echoes of her secrets. She tried to reach me, of course. The attempts came in waves. First, it was tearful apologies. Then, when that didn't work, it was flashes of anger. Finally, it settled into a raw desperation. I never responded. There was nothing left to say. Looking back, the deepest cut wasn't the betrayal itself. It was the crushing realization of how long I had remained loyal to a memory, to a person who had emotionally and physically checked out of our marriage years ago. I had to stop blaming myself for not seeing it sooner. Trust isn't a weakness. It's not stupidity. It's a choice you make, an investment you give in good faith. You can't fault yourself when someone else defaults on it. Months later, I heard through the grapevine that she was telling people I had humiliated her publicly. And maybe from her perspective I did. But from my perspective, I just stopped participating in the lie. I refused to be the silent guardian of her secrets any longer. I didn't feel pride in what I did. I didn't feel vengeful or triumphant. I just felt free. Life started to settle into something new, something honest. Mornings without that knot of suspicion in my stomach. Nights where the silence was just peaceful, not heavy with things left unsaid. I learned a powerful lesson through all of it. Real dignity is unfound in winning a fight or having the last word. It's found in walking away with your integrity intact, without letting the bitterness poison you. She planned a surprise party to celebrate a lie. I gave her the truth. And in that moment, in the quiet aftermath of it all, my life finally, truly began again. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know you're not alone. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more real stories.